walk by faith, even when I cannot see, because this broken road prepares your will for me.
In the context of a song like Walk by Faith, you start to make that connection between faith and music. And in this song, it seems pretty, self-explanatory about, just letting God be your everyday guide.
Walking by faith is a bit of a challenge for me. It has been for some time. I'm a scientist, so I think about exactness. I think about setting a target and going after it. When I think about walking by faith, I have to let some of that stuff go.
Well, I guess for me to walk by faith means to really just be in tune with God's plan for me. And, kind of whatever that may be, because if you think about it on a daily basis, there's like a million different things that can happen to you.
The words in the song help me understand what that means. That the faith part of this walking journey is going to help me get to that end point. And I got to let that go and let that happen.
I always think about, look for the extraordinary in the ordinary. And to me, that's, walking by faith is all about that, seeing Christ in everything.
I have imagery of my youngest son, Jason, who just turned a year old, and he's just learning how to walk himself. And actually, we have to hold him up as he's walking, taking step by step by step. And I think when we walk in faith with Christ, very often, almost all the time, at least for me, I find myself having to be like my son Jason, taking one step at a time as he's holding me up. I don't know where God is going to take me from one step to the next necessarily, because it's in His plan, not in my own plan.
It's been on my mind a lot recently that this is something very hard to do, to just trust that things are going to work out okay, even if you're not in complete control of them. So that's what walk by faith means to me.
To me, it really talked about the times when you question things, and the times when you may feel uncertain about aspects of your life. You may question things. You may not really know what's going on or what's happening for what reason. But regardless of all of that, you push forward.
Things aren't always going to be obvious. The reasons for things aren't always going to be obvious. And you have to trust that there's a bigger plan, that God has a master plan for you. And whether it makes sense today, whether it makes sense tomorrow, whether it never makes sense, sometimes it's not going to. And you just have to trust that if you listen with your soul, you'll hear what God wants you to do.
Means that you don't always understand what's going on, but there's something deeper in me or deeper in the situation that you just have to trust, to walk by faith.
I found that when I've tried to walk by my own path and my own plan, I wind up getting lost. But He's always seems to be there when I'm ready to call for Him to sort of pick me back up and help me back up and get me back on the right track again.
We are all kind of blindly walking around, and I noticed that when I feel like I want to take all the control back, I mess it up. I mess up my life more. And I end up on my knees in prayer and crying out, okay, you win. So take it back. I'm sorry. You were right.
A few months ago, I went through a rough breakup. And in some things in my life, I have more control over than others. With this, there's not as much, I found myself wanting to force myself to get over them really quickly, and where am I going to find somebody new, because I want to get married and have a family, and I need to make that work, and it doesn't always work that way. So I've been telling myself a lot recently, especially this, I need to step back and just walk by faith and not try to control it, because if something's going to happen, it'll happen when it happens.
The last 30 days, personally, for me, have been probably one of the most difficult months I've had in the last several years. And when that kind of a situation happens, you just need something to remind you of all the good things that surround you, to tell you to stay the course, to just keep plodding. and that there is a plan. God has a plan. This has really been that song in the last little while for me personally. Even the beat of the music itself, it's slow, it's steady, it's a march. And it just reminds you, take one step, take another step, take a third step, just keep going. Thank goodness for Jeremy Camp and this song. It's really kept me going.
In our praise band, it has allowed me to really just jump into the music, jump into the message, and let my soul soar through this music. And it just takes me to places that I had hoped I could achieve, and now I really feel like I'm there. I really feel like the music has allowed me to really tap even deeper into my spirituality.
I don't think it's by happenstance that this group of people somehow came together to play this music, because I think we're a group of people that are all on a journey of faith and willing and vulnerable to share that with each other.
There have been many times I've talked to people at the end of the liturgy service, and they came in, I was feeling really down, or I just lost my grandmother, and I came in here and it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Now that's great. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a healing force and inspiration. Inspiration, by definition, means to breathe life.
When I sing these verses, I'm able to connect to the song better. And so I've been in choirs in the past. I just sing a song, and I don't really feel the words. But in this group, I feel what I'm singing.
I think we all relate to them very personally. At least I do, and I think most of us do because we talk about it all the time.
Every song that we're doing relates to our lives. And it's a translation for God's will to everyday living, to what God's grace and what the power of God and the power of your faith can do for you if you let it.
The music speaks to me. It's music that is similar style-wise to that I grew up with, that my parents grew up with, and I think almost anybody could sing it and enjoy it.
One of the songs that really touches me is a song called Go Make a Difference, because I honestly believe that 150 does do that.
What different people together can do, truly make a difference. I think that's something that I'm really, humbly proud of the group. It leads me to believe that I'm serving in the right place.
The Spirit is flowing in that music space. The Spirit is flowing through us all, and we're excited about it. We're jazzed about it.
It is such a wonderful experience. I'm so blessed and so happy to be involved with it.
Hey, we're 150. We hope you come out to our next liturgy when we serve at the 5:30 p.m. Mass on April 25th, and we hope to see everybody there and hope to hear you singing.
Come up and say hi. God bless.